So we were just walking with John and he started telling us a ghost story from about 15 years ago. So I have asked him if he will tell you guys because it is fascinating. So tomorrow morning, we're gonna go to the ancient city of Kayaköy, which is just 5 minutes from here. And we're gonna go and try and find out why 10,000 people mysteriously vanished overnight.
Kayaköy, please.
So we're now in the abandoned city of Kayaköy. It's about 3 miles from where we're staying, and we've just had to trek up a hill to get here because all of these houses are built in the mountainside. This place was abandoned suddenly in 1923, and we're here to see all these houses that are completely empty and have been for over 100 years, and try and find out why did these people abandon this village and leave it empty.
We're here in what was called Levisi. This place was established in the 14th century. It's now known as the ghost town to the locals. So back in 1923, everybody who was living here just vanished overnight, left their homes, left their schools, left their places of worship, and just disappeared.
So before we delve into why everyone suddenly left, it's important to know the population that was here. Kayaköy, which means rock village, was a home to a mixed population of both Christians and Muslims, and they lived together in harmony for many, many years.
If you missed us unearthing the Jewel of Fethiye, link here, we visited an old Greek house, which is one of the only remaining structures left in Fethiye after a massive earthquake in 1957, which caused most of the damage that you can see here.
So we were just walking with John and he started telling us a ghost story from about 15 years ago. So I have asked him if he will tell you guys because it is fascinating.
So I've got this story from about 15 years ago where, first of all, it happened to my dad. And we had a picture of me from when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And my dad never used to have it on display. I didn't know why. I asked him the question. He was like, it freaks me out. But I found the picture in a drawer as I was tidying up and just asked my dad why it was stored. And I think at the time I was about 11 or 12 years old. Maybe a little bit older, I'm not sure. But I asked my dad, he gave me that answer. And I just laughed it off. So when I asked my dad the question about why it was stored, it wasn't a picture that was put up because other pictures of me and my brother were up. He was just adamant that this picture was cursed, actually adamant with it, and saying that it would follow him around the room, it'd stare at him no matter where he sat. He said he saw the eyes move. I forgot about it, to be honest, after that, and I think it was probably about 5 or 6 years later that I tested the theory for myself. And I don't know if it's because he told me what had happened with this picture that I've seen it happen to, or whether it just happened, but it scared the life out of me at the time. So I want you to imagine where this picture was. As I come down my stairs, I take a right into my living room, and the sofa's there, and there's another sofa there. And the picture was across, it'd been hung up. I don't know why, it was back up. I hadn't put it up, but it was there. And I'm sat in the living room on my own one night, my dad's in bed, I'm sat on this sofa, and this picture is just staring at me. And I was just like, okay, that just must be the way it faces, but it was on a bit of an angle, so I thought it was strange. I'm going to test this out. I have no idea what my dad's talking about. I moved to the sofa, forgot about it, totally forgot about it. All of a sudden I look up and this picture is just at me again. And every single place that I moved to in that room, it was like the eyes were moving, and it's a picture of me, which was weird. Like, it was a picture of me as like a 4-year-old with long blonde curtains, like, and it just followed me around the room, and it just looks sinister. So I don't want you to think this is like the Mona Lisa where like it's supposed to move around with you. I physically saw these eyes move whilst I was walking across the living room, and it freaked me out so much. Again, I don't know whether this actually happened, but I saw them move, and from that day on, took that picture down. I have never seen it once since.
So why is this place so abandoned? In the early 20th century, the Greco-Turkish War took place, whereby Greece and Turkey wanted to claim either Christianity or Islam for themselves. So a population exchange took place, whereby all the Christians migrated to Greece and all of the Muslims remained here in Turkey.
So when Kayaköy was forcefully abandoned, the Greek Orthodox Christians moved to Athens because it reminded them of their hometown. The Anatolian Muslims moved off the mountain for an easier life. So over the course of a very short period of time, this entire city was completely abandoned.
It's got really hot here now, sort of midday. The weather is easily about 26 degrees, so we're off to get some lunch, get out the sun.
You make me nervous. I think I might be hooked on you. I love the things you said to me. It seems like you like me too. We can take it slow, make sure we do this right. All my plans to be.
Right, so we just stopped off for some lunch in a really nice little restaurant called La Bessos. We've just ordered a wrap, and it cost around about 45 lira, and it was absolutely amazing. So good that we think we're probably going to come back at some point for a dinner here, because I've heard the food is amazing, and it's open all winter, which is quite rare around here. We're going to go do a little bit more filming and then head back.
I think we were meant.
We've just got back from the ghost town in Kayaköy. We had a great day. It started to get really hot in the afternoon. It was a bit chilly in the morning, hence the coats. It was massive. The place was huge. It was really, really vast. Like, we weren't expecting it to be as big as it was. We Googled villages in the UK to see how big 10,000 people were, but we were quite underwhelmed. We thought it was massive, but the smallest one that we could find was like 90-odd thousand, which I think was in, where was it, Durham?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we failed on that.
Well, we could give you the stat that it's the equivalent of half of Chichester leaving, so if that impresses you.
Quite impressive.
So next week, I have been trying to organise going to diving. John's friend Leanne is a dive master over here in Turkey, or she was, and she told us about this dive site that is called Aladdin's Cavern, and I'm desperate to go and dive it. So I've spoken to the one of the local dive schools, and I've seen if they'll take us out there. So we will see you next week.